Hey guys, this is Clay Autry. I watched your video today on how to disable the alarm or the little beeps on the Latch-It lock, which by the way I purchased because of your website or your YouTube channel. Anyway, I'm a computer ISIT guy and have been for a long time, and I'd like you to see this because your little video on how to disable it while effective may cause damage to the unit. So here we are, we're open and we're looking at the PCB, the printed circuit board that has the here's the buzzer plug, and the top one is the battery plus to the buzzer. I'm going to pause just a second and I'm going to remove those two silver screws and take the PCB out where we can play with it. Hold on. Okay, as you can see, the two little silver screws are gone, so the PCB is ready to come out. Let's take the board out, and I'm going to try to do this. I have my phone on a tiny little tripod, and I'm actually doing the work while watching through the monitor. Anyway, it just comes up, and if you flip the board over, you can see right here, this little black box. That's your buzzer right there. Okay, and the wire we want is that top yellow wire on this connector. So what I want to point out to you is that you can't, or you shouldn't, in my opinion, just yank that wire out, that little red wire here. Let me get my pointer in the right place. Ooh, there it is, right there. You shouldn't just yank that little wire out with a pair of pliers. If you can see this little lever right here, you push that down, and let's disconnect this connector. Okay, I'm going to use my thumbnail and push down on it, and then I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to take my PCB here in my other hand. I'm just going to rock it back and forth just a hair, and it should come right out. All right, now take and move your PCB out of your way. You can actually just put her back in her home. Now let me point out here, there's your 4 pins. There's our red wire on the top. Now, if you look at, see, this side was hidden on the PCB. You couldn't see it. And I'm going to zoom in now. You see those little pins? Each one of those little pins has a little tab on it that when you insert the pin in for the first time, the little tab pops up and holds it in the Molex connector. Now, if you don't, when you pull the pin, extract the pin, if you don't push that little tab down, you can rip that little tab backwards, and then if you ever want to reinsert it again, you can't, because it won't stay in. The only way to get it to work is the pin tension between the male on the board right here and over here. Anyway, let me see if I can do this. All right, I'm zoomed in, so first thing you want to do is try to grab the little wire. I'm going to zoom out. Grab the little wire and then push it forward and try to get it forward in the connector. See there, you can see at the bottom of the pin number 1 on the top by my thumbnail, you can see that little shiny place right in the edge of the window, right down here. See that little shiny spot? That's the tip of the tab. We want to get that up away from the plastic so that we can depress it with our little pin. Now this is just a little bulletin board stick pin. It has to be something sharp like a needle. But if you just grab the connector and then push that down and get it past the plastic. Now look, your pin's already popped out, and now without a pair of pliers, I just pull that bad boy out right there, and she's done. And if you'll do it that way, then that little pin will be functional the next time you want to put it in. One more tip, if I can get it here, is that little tab. I'm going to zoom in. That little tab, let me see if I can turn it sideways and get it in the camera. That little tab sometimes will bend down. You can see it's not right now, it's sticking up. But if that bends down and it won't stay in there, you can take your needle or your push pin and stick it right underneath there, grab that hole, and then you can not back here. You don't want to do it where the spring is, where it joins back there. Don't do it there. Get it right under here in the hole. Stick your pin in there, and you can lift that tab, bend it back out, and then it'll snap back into place in your connector in your empty window. Those little windows is what grab those tabs. Anyway, I'm gonna one other thing that I would advise, when you do this, once you pull that pin out, see, that's a battery plus pin, which means it has positive voltage on it. And our chassis right here, our chassis for the, everything made out of metal, this and everything else in this case that's made out of metal, is the ground for this system. So if you're going to disconnect the positive wire, which is a good idea, it's not a problem, be sure and cover that wire up with some sort of tape or self-fusing tape or electrical tape or something to insulate it so it doesn't short out on the chassis. Now, this is anodized aluminum, so there's a pretty good chance it won't make contact, but if it finds a bare piece of metal and touches it, it will drain all your battery power out and maybe short out the rest of your electronics. Anyway,